Hi, everyone. You're welcome once again to We Table It. How you all doing? I want to believe you're doing well. Just a quick check-in on every one of you. How's the weekend treating you? How was the week? Mine was quite busy. And yes, it's another one with us here on We Table It. I am your regular host, Eno Vwaire. And with me is the co-host, Valerie Tiganga. So, yes, this is me taking you on internet addiction. I want to do a quick one. Let me see how to share this on my social media profile before I go ahead. Please, as you come in, help me share this broadcast. It's important. A lot of people get to see this. We need to know what it's about internet addiction. Some of us are already internet addicts and we don't even know. Okay, so yes, let's see what's up with internet addiction. Once again, you're welcome to this live on We Table It, and I am your regular host, Eno Vwaire, all the way from the motherland, Lagos, Nigeria. Okay, so we'll go on, but before we do, I just want to let you know that this is a broadcast from a platform that's very, very burdened with, you know, talking about society issues and seeing how we can impact a change, a positive change. We've come up with topics that are, you know, all about it could be finance, it could be economy, it could be personal issues, global issues, whatever it is, health issues. But somehow, one topic, two topics must be beneficial to one person watching, and that person might be you. All right, so today, like we said, we'll be doing internet addiction. First of all, let's see what internet addiction is all about. Yeah, let me do a quick share and I'll be right back. Okay. Thank you for your patience. Yeah. So thank you, Valerie, for helping me with the slides. Boniface, thank you too for being on the back end. We have some very powerful people who are with us on this platform, helping us from the back end, making sure everything is going on well. Yeah, thank you, every one of you on the team. And every one of you who is making this happen, every one of our audience will say we love you and we appreciate you. Thank you for being a part of We Table It, and thank you for sharing. Thank you for liking. Thank you for commenting. It means a lot. Now, what is internet addiction? A lot of you will just say it's just looking at your internet 24/7, whatever it is. But we have a very good definition. I'm trying to be using a definition that resonates with every one of you, regardless of your backgrounds. A behavioral pattern characterized by excessive or obsessive online and offline computer use that leads to distress and impairment. All right, if you want to say what is social media addiction, when you're always on your social media profiles, your Facebook, your LinkedIn, your whatever social media profile, for more time than it is necessary to do so. So this is it. When it is a pattern that is excessive, that is obsessive, whether it's online, whether it's offline, computer use that leads to distress and impairment. And this is from the American Psychological Association. So what types of social media addiction or internet addiction do we have? Please help us share. It's important we have more people on this broadcast. We have different kinds of addiction, the social media addiction, always scrolling through Facebook, scrolling through Instagram, scrolling through YouTube, whatever it is on social media. You know the different ones. We have different kinds of platform. If you're in Africa, you have no idea how many platforms we have online. Okay, if you go to China, they don't even use Facebook. So there are plenty, thousands of platforms where people engage, and you just keep scrolling. That's one of that social media addiction. That's number one of the internet addiction. Then online gaming, for those of you, especially the youth, I mean teenagers or youngsters who are always playing game. The internet has made it so easy for people to connect globally and play game. All right. Now, playing game on its own is not a bad thing. It helps people to, kill boredom when you need to relax, So, but when it's obsessive or excessive, definitely this is an internet addiction. Another one that ladies would not want to hear is the online shopping. Online shopping. There are people who wouldn't leave shopping sites. They are scrolling, looking for the latest or something that will catch their eyes. You need to check. They have a wish list of so many things they want to buy later and later. So when you are doing this continuously in an unhealthy way, it is definitely an internet addiction. Now, information overload, information seeking addiction. You are already always scrolling, trying to get one information or the other. You are on Google, you are whatever it is, or you are doing online that is quite obsessive. Gambling is online as well. A lot of people do gambling online. There are lots of platforms that encourages you to put in one or two money, and then you make thousands of other money coming in. You spend a lot of time trying to find out which one is favorable for you or what combinations are favorable for you. You spend so much time, spend so much money, whatever it is that is excessive. Okay, this is internet addiction. We have what we call the cyber sex addiction. For those of you who go online looking for porno sites and then, spending so much time, whatever it is, we'll call it an addiction. Of course, it's something that will take away from our productivity. Pornography watching online is one of it. Online relationship addiction, for those of us who are lonely and we want to find partners. We go on dating sites. We could spend hours on dating sites looking for who to match with us, who to communicate with us. This is one of them. Then workaholism, work addiction online. Now, it is okay to work online. It is okay for those of us who are freelancers, who do gigs online, whatever it is. Make sure you strike a balance between your work and between your rest. Okay, try to make sure it's balanced, because too much of everything is bad. Why are we looking at internet addiction? Is because at the end of the day, it's going to tell or impact negatively on us. So this one is one of it too. Workaholism. All right, so we'll go ahead. As you come in, kindly leave a comment, whatever it is. We want to hear from you. We want to call on you. We want to speak with you. Okay, so we are still on internet addiction. Before I go ahead, I would like to call on Valerie. Valerie, are you with me? Yes, thank you for joining me, Valerie.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I'm muted and talking. Yes, I'm very much with you.
Okay, thank you for coming on board this broadcast. I was watching you from the back end when we said something about workaholism, that's work addiction. There was this smile on your face.
Yes.
What would you want to say about this one now, workaholism on the internet addiction? Does it strike you like something that, is what it is? Will you call it internet? I know you're a very hardworking person. Would you call that
Yeah.
you're spending all the time on the internet trying to figure out your work? Would you call that internet addiction?
Um, what you said is important, striking a balance. And
Yeah.
my experience with this has been like my experience is it becomes worse when we do remote work. In when you're working from your office or an office environment, you
Yes.
get to the office at 9, you leave 5 p.m. and it's easy to switch off your work day. and go into
Mm-hmm.
the rest of whatever it is that you'd be doing with your family or whatever it is in the evening. But when you work remotely, there are very blurry lines between when work begins and work ends. And with remote work, more often than not, what you're focusing on is completing the task. So if the task goes beyond work hours, you just keep working. And that's when you mentioned work addiction and balance. I thought of that. I was like, actually, yeah, many of us are going to fall into workaholism as a challenge.
That's true. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. We don't know when we actually have fallen into it as an addict. Sorry, this is what it is. You are an internet
Mm.
addict if you do not strike a balance. Yeah, that's it. So when you're working too much, like Valerie said, yeah, when you're working in the office, it's easy for you to say this is definite. I'm working from 9 to 5 and I'll go home to rest. But when you're working from home in front of your laptop, you would just be so relaxed and you wouldn't even know when the time is fast spent. So that is it
Mm.
on workaholism, internet
Yeah.
addiction. I want to quickly show us a few statistics on internet addiction, the prevalence rate. Okay, we have the global prevalence rate of internet addiction range from 6% to 14%, depending on the criteria and the population studied. Okay, so in the United States, it's estimated that about I beg your pardon, 8.2% of the population may be affected by internet addiction. That's massive. 8.2% affected by internet addiction. So, we have a situation where even parents are trying to, curtail excesses when it comes to the children's usage of, the internet. Now, so the age group, adolescents and young adults are particularly vulnerable. Now, the studies showing prevalence rates between 13% and 18% amongst teenagers. Okay, college students have been found to exhibit high rates of internet addiction with prevalence estimates around 10% to 15% in various studies. Now, let us look at whether it's a male or a female that's more prone to addiction. Let's see this quickly. Now, the research indicates that males are more likely to develop online gaming addiction, while females are more prone to social media addiction. And from what I see, this appears to be true. The men are much more deep into gaming, and the women are deep into gossips. Okay, just scrolling, checking the latest design, the latest weddings, the latest whatever on social media platform. All right, so a study found that 13% of males versus 8% of females showed signs of internet addiction. That means we have more males being addicted using the internet than we have females. So let's see mental health correlation. Now, the internet's addiction is strongly associated with mental health issues such as depression, anxiety, and stress. I need us to look at this. Studies have shown that individuals with internet addiction are more likely to experience this condition. A meta-analysis revealed that internet addiction had or has a significant correlation with higher levels of depression and anxiety. Now, this is why we are looking at this topic. There's a correlation between the addiction and depression and anxiety. Physical health impacts. Now, the prolonged internet use has been linked to physical health problems such as sleep disorder, vision problem, and sedentary lifestyle related issues like obesity. So, a study indicated that 42% of individuals with internet addiction reported sleep disturbance. So, we cannot underestimate the importance of looking at this issue critically. It is something we need to look at. We need to know that we should manage our time very well, especially when it comes to using the internet because when we do not do so, we will be affected. You're spending so much time. Not only will your finances be impaired because you are less productive, you will equally have problems with your health. Okay? Yes, I'm going to be taking the comment from Bonnie Morty. He says gaming and gambling is a real problem amongst young men. Now, this is it. We have the statistics showing that it is a problem. All right. So now, economic and social consequences are just, hinted on that. Internet addiction can lead to decreased productivity at work or school, financial problems due to online shopping or gambling, and strained personal relationship. Now, look at this. In South Korea, the government has implemented internet addiction prevention programs due to the high prevalence and impact on youth. Now, not only are governments looking at issues like drug usage as a menace in the society, they are equally looking at internet addiction, as it's seen with South Korea. Um, they are, setting up structures, programs to help, look into the issue of internet addiction and its impact on the youth. I wonder which country in Africa have such programs. I don't think in my country, in Nigeria, we have programs to help the youth to, not get so addicted to the internet. So now this is about the statistics, and at this point, one of the ways that we've been able to curtail this situation with children is the parents, monitoring their children's usage of the internet. All right. I don't know. I would like to ask a question. Um, in my country, I see lots of women, especially mothers, they're always on their kids' uh, your internet usage time or the phone time. They try to monitor the usage. Uh, do you think it's effective, Valerie? Please, do you think what we are doing so far as parents is effective in helping us have children who are more productive when it comes to their, schoolwork and all that? Are we doing enough as parents to ensure our children are not addicted to the internet?
No. And the reason I say no,
That was
just I say no.
all right.
First of all, I believe as parents, we don't have full understanding of what is our children are capable of online. They are ahead of us.
Okay.
We when it comes to our understanding of the capabilities of the internet, I believe that for many of us, it's a bit lower than the younger generation who are more tech
Mm,
savvy, driven to tech oriented solutions. So we might try on our end to put various barriers in place for them. But these children are sharp. So I believe that it's difficult for us to really get to a
yeah.
point where we can control and monitor. Um, I think where we are able to control and monitor is when they're in our homes. And maybe in some cases, when they're
Okay.
quite young, we can monitor their devices because it's not possible for them to have their own social media accounts or their own email
Right.
addresses. So they need to do us as a parent. But once they get to
Okay.
teenagehood, it becomes rough. And I think the one thing is to just keep talking to them about the dangers because
That's
that's what we can do, sure that they're informed and educated. But controlling is hard. If you take your child's phone, they'll feel bad. They'll visit a friend. Their friend has a phone. End of story. I mean, you're
yeah,
trying to
yeah,
turn into
yeah. Frustrating all
somebody.
your efforts. Yeah,
Yes, or they go to school. The school has
that's true.
computers. So, you know, we have to think of education
That's
and, yeah, getting
yeah.
them to understand and value themselves so that they don't get caught in situations where people can take advantage of them or give them information that they know is not good for their well-being. So the focus should be on
Mhm.
really building them up as people so that we save them from internet addiction?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, thank you for that. Yeah, as parents, we cannot really do enough because these children, they will find themselves in schools or with their friends. It could be a bit of a challenge to actually monitor. But whatever you can have some, I think there's a way you can actually for parents, there's something you can do, a kind of monitoring, maybe a software or something on the child's phone to make sure they do not have access to the internet. Probably you check for some hours or something. There's something they do, parental monitoring. There's something you can do that is for parents who do not have an idea how to go about it. We'll still talk about that in details.
Mm.
Yeah, preventive measures. How do we prevent internet addiction? These are the questions to be answered here. If you have any questions at this point, it's okay to leave it in the comments. We are here to address your concerns on this topic, internet addiction, and we want to indulge you. Please share this broadcast. It's important. We have people watching. Thank you for growing with us. Now, one of the ways to prevent internet addiction is setting usage limits. Some of you have these features on your computers that you don't even have an idea, even on your phones, that can give you warning when you have gotten to a certain threshold, can tell you have used your data to this point. That could be a warning for you to know you have exceeded the time you are to be online. Setting that as well is one of the useful ways to check your usage of the internet. One very very helpful intervention is promoting offline activities. Children tend to play with the phone because they are all indoors. Okay, I'm going to use Africa for example. When we were growing up, we had children being free to go anywhere in the neighborhood. They can play with themselves without the parents worrying. We had a society where the neighbors, the uncles, the aunties, everyone is responsible for the upbringing of the child. So, yeah, you are not scared of having your child in the neighborhood. But these days, because of security concern, everyone is careful. They want their kids indoors. All right. So, because of that, they have no other option when they are bored. They would have to play with the phone. They have to keep pressing the phone. If they don't even have the phone, they use mommy's or daddy's phone. So you have to be intentional about that, especially for children. Even for adults, you need to promote offline activities, encourage hobbies, encourage physical activities, encourage social interaction outside of the digital world. You need to be intentional with your children. Take them out for sport, take them for tennis, take them for judo, take them for all these activities that will get them out of the house and mingle with people actively without having any need or any urge to go to the internet to explore. All right, so that is one very very good measure you can put in place to curtail excesses on internet addiction. Then education and awareness, like we had in the country, Hong Kong, where we said they are doing something, setting up programs to tackle the issue or the impact of internet addiction on the youth. Now, enough education and awareness is needed. You need to educate individuals. I think it's time we have courses, I mean, NGOs coming up, taking this as a course, okay, to help the youth, to help people, overcome internet addiction. It's a worthy cause, if you would ask me. Educate them, the children, the teens, tell them about the risk and the signs of internet addiction. Sometimes you don't even know that you are already addicted to the internet. All right, so we want to ask you to, or we want to encourage you to have healthy internet habits. That's another measure to prevent that internet addiction we are talking about. So you have to be conscious of it. You have to tell yourself you would have a break at this time. Like I said, the internet, your data usage, you have to be conscious of it. You know, then another thing is this: a culture. Build up a culture. Tell yourself, while I'm eating, I'm not going to be pressing my phone. That's one thing. Or when you are doing serious tasks, I am not going to press my phone, or I'm not going to go to the internet to do this thing. So this is it. You have to, develop that culture. You have to develop discipline, to help yourself. Healthy internet habits. Then parental control. We talked about just before we started, utilizing parental control settings. You use that to monitor and limit children's internet access. Okay,
Mm.
so intervention strategies in case you are already, in that place where you are an internet addict. You need to, find yourself in one support group because it's a problem. Oh, that's just the truth. It's a problem. Some people, they find it very difficult to break this. It's a problem. All right. So how do you help yourself? Get yourself involved in one of these support groups. You can join one, you can create one. It's easy to even create one. And you would, invite people who are like yourself, people who are, always on the internet like yourself and are looking for solution to this problem. When you are in such support groups, you share your experiences, you share strategies, strategies for managing this internet activity, addiction. Yeah, that's where you can get help. Okay, this is one of it.
Um,
Professional counseling is another one. Yeah,
yeah,
Valerie, you
sorry,
wanted to
no,
say something?
I have a question. And my question, I was thinking about how I understand addiction. For example, with an alcoholic,
Okay.
you can sort of, from their behavior, you're able to tell when somebody's addicted or when somebody's addicted to drugs. Now, how do you tell
Yeah.
when with the internet it's an addiction rather than just day to day? Because we access the internet now for so many things. So how can we tell when we are addicted, like when we can't live without the internet? Are there any like sort of symptoms we can
All right.
watch out for? Mm,
All right. So some of these symptoms are not what you can actually see, but you can tell there
mm,
are indicators. For instance, you are having financial problems because one, maybe you are a gambler, online gambler. It will tell on your finances. People are seeing you. People are seeing you working. People see that this person is a hard worker, or they see that there's nothing to show for the hard work. Where is all this money going
mm,
to? Online gambling.
mm,
So it must be evident somehow, either physically or mentally. Some people, like we said, staying up all night on the phone, scrolling, browsing Instagram, looking at those beautiful pictures. It will tell on your sleep. And when you do not
mm,
sleep well, anything that's sleep related illness, obesity is one of them because of sedentary lifestyle. A lot of people have developed maybe pot's belly because they are always sitting on the desktop, just pressing, gaming, and all that. This is one of it. There are obvious signs, and at the same time, there are even psychological, effects of internet addiction. Your finance,
mm,
your productivity is impacted. Your a lot of things. Your health is, excuse me, I
mm,
beg your pardon. Your health is impacted. I beg your pardon. So your health is impacted as well. So that
mm.
is it. Um, I hope that answers your question.
It does. It does. Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you're
Mm,
welcome, my darling. You're welcome. So I don't want to go into, okay, but let me just touch on that. Still on Valerie's question, when you're addicted to online pornography, what happens? Do you want to go into that? Trust me, you don't want us to go into that. Being addicted to that, the effects of this. I've learned over time that when you are addicted to pornography, it makes you not to even value the physical relationship that you have. If care is not taken, you are withdrawn from the physical spouse that you have. So this is it. There is no way you are not going to be affected by any kind of addiction, be it drugs, be it whatever it is, alcohol. Now, this is one, internet addiction. All right. So, yeah, these are the symptoms that we've talked about. Is there any other person who is watching who has any question? I'm trying to see if there are any questions on Facebook, anyone at all that we can address as we go. Thank you for joining us. We'll be wrapping up in a bit on internet addiction. Any questions? Any questions? All right. So, Valerie, is there anything you want to add to this topic? This is a good time for you to add something. Any words on the topic, please?
Yes. I'm going to ask if we can look at. I think we can. Yeah, the different types of internet addiction. First of all, thank you
Yeah,
so
go
much
ahead.
for sharing this, because I'd never thought of different types. I just thought of internet addiction as people spending too much time online. Um, and one of the things that you've also touched on is different people of different ages and what they're experiencing when it comes to addiction. And I think that was also very important to highlight, because the way you address internet addiction with a teenager who's addicted to social media may be different to maybe an older man or an older woman who's addicted to online
That's true.
relationships, or somebody in their 30s who's got a work addiction, or somebody
Mm,
who is shopping online. But I think one of the things that's important to understand about, this type of addiction is that addiction comes in normally for people who are trying to fill something, a gap, a space,
yes,
a void in their lives. And this is where you veer towards in order to fill that. And one of the things I think that could make a difference when it comes to internet addiction is really healthy relationships and interactions with other people. The internet makes it easy for us to isolate ourselves and be
that's
on
true.
our
That.
own.
Mm,
And yeah, we can say, I've got friends all over the world. I can say, Eno, you're my friend. Every year, I like two of your pictures, and I send you a picture of myself. And now I feel like we've interacted. But in reality, our interaction could be much, much richer if we were talking to each other, if we were seeing each other. So, yeah, I think also combating internet addiction can be done if we are focusing on relationships, on how we are with other people, on healthy interactions. And it takes away that period where you can be so by yourself that you can actually dedicate hours to doing something, just you and a device on your own. Mm.
mm. Thank you for that. Yeah, as you were speaking, I just remembered that there was a part that we had not concluded when we were talking about preventive measures and intervention for
Mm.
internet addiction. I think we talked about, offline activities or outdoor activities to help people, especially children, engage them in activities. Then we talked about, please remind me, we said something about uh, parental control, limits to internet usage. We talked about
Mm.
education and awareness, right? Health internet habits, yes. So we talked about support group. This is very important. Professional counseling as well. For those of you who need help on internet addiction, this is the essence
Mm.
of this broadcast. We need people who have these problems to find help. Now, family and peer support. You must involve your family and your friends in the intervention process to provide support and accountability. So remember when Valerie was saying, she said something about when your children, you ask them not to, if you can monitor them when they go to their friends, they have access to what you're stopping them from. Now, it frustrates any of your, efforts. But for a teenager or somebody who is an adult, if you have your friends, in on what is going on, they will give you the support. They will help you not to, continue in that addiction. So yes, it's a journey that you must go along with friends and family members. Okay. Some of these things you have to come out naked and unashamed. You have to tell people about this situation so that you can get help. Because when you close your mouth, you cannot get any help for your problems. All right. Even when you are the private person, we have, counselors who can talk to you one on one and help you through that situation. All right. So let me remind you, parents, that there is something on your phones or your kids' phone that can help them to monitor screen time. So you can utilize the inbuilt features of the smartphones to help your children, limit their internet usage. And then digital wellness features offered by tech companies such as do not disturb modes on all smartphones. I think we should have the do not disturb modes on it, and bedtime settings. This is why when you call some people at some time in the night, you can't access them because they have the settings on that when it's time to sleep, there are no calls, there are no internet. In fact, the airplane mode comes on. This is a very good avenue of good way measure to, prevent or to intervene when it comes to internet addiction. If there are other questions you have, it's a good time to ask. I'm trying to see if I have any questions on Facebook. Thank you, every one of you, for your support. It's going to be a very amazing month of June. We forgot to say welcome to the month of June. June is a beautiful month because it's my birth month. Yes, it's a month for winners, and we want every one of you to keep winning. This is why we're talking about internet addiction because it is very important. Every one of us are always on our phones or on our laptops. So in the month of June, let's make sure that we limit our exposure to the internet. Valerie, you asked a question. You said something about what are the symptoms. Another very important one that I almost skipped is the way it will affect your eyes. When you're on the phone 247 and you do not protect your eyes, what happens? By the time you get to the age of 50, 60, your eyes are very weak. So this is why parents are even on their children. I've seen a couple of parents say, I don't want your eyes to be weak. Stop looking at your phone. These are one of the problems of internet addiction. So we do not want to have weak eyes. We do not want to have weak wallets. We do not want to have weak mental whatever. We don't want to be in a very weak mental place, but we want to be productive. We want to be everything well in the month of June. So please reduce your internet usage. Make sure if it's work, then it is healthy work. And make sure if it's play, then it's done right. Whatever it is, you should know that you do it well. So let's do a quick recap on internet addiction. Yeah, we said internet addiction is a behavioral pattern characterized by excessive or obsessive online and offline computer use that leads to distress and impairment. For those of you who are just watching, we're talking about internet addiction. And yes, we defined it as that. And the condition, though controversial, has attracted increasing attention in the popular media and among healthcare professionals. Expanding research has identified various subtypes, including those involving excessive gaming, sexual preoccupations, and email and text messaging. So we talked about the types of internet addiction as social media addiction, online gaming addiction, online shopping addiction, information overload, information seeking addiction, online gambling addiction, cyber sex addiction, online relationship addiction, workaholism. That is work addiction. All right, we talked about the internet addiction key statistics. We talked about some worthy of note. In the United States, they have a percentage of 8.2 internet addicts. Global prevalence 6% to 14% as per female and male. Then age group teenagers about 13% to 18%. Then college student 10% to 15%. Males are usually the ones that are higher in internet addiction than females. All right, so overall, 13% of males versus 8% of females are affected by internet addiction. All right, so that is that for now. Thank you, everyone. And we want you to look forward to next week. We're having an amazing one coming on by Dr. Saro. He's going to be talking about, financials, talking about investing. He's going to be talking about crypto, forex. He's going to be talking about stocks and minerals, all about investment in that. So, yes, if you want to see that, please, try to set a reminder or something so you don't miss that. It's going to be explosive next week. And yes, after that, we'll be having a general conversation. I don't want to spill the beans on that yet, but it's going to be an interesting one as well. And we look forward to seeing you all. We look forward to, like I would say, grow with you. Thank you for your time, and please enjoy the rest of your day. Bye for now.